Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are a fan of Hobonichi, you probably know by now that August the 1st marked the start of the 2025 preview event. For those that don't know, this is basically how they show the range to us for next year. They do it over the full month of August, so each day there is a new element that is revealed. It's a combination of updates to the books themselves or updates around the paper, all the way to new covers, new accessories, all that good stuff. And then I can't remember which day it is, but towards the end of the month they then kind of do like the full reveal of everything, so you can start kind of pricing up what your shopping list is for the year and kind of get that list ready to go, because the sales start on September 1st. And I thought it would be quite fun to just do a little video of kind of my wish list items, really, of things that I want them to release or changes that I want them to make to the books or the setup. Relatively minor things, I think, and probably some of them are probably on other people's wish list too. I don't think that they're going to make at least one of the changes, because I think if they were going to do it, they'd have done it already. But I thought it could be a fun, different video, well timed with the preview event. Okay, to begin, we're gonna go through probably my number one wishlist item for Hobonichi. It has been probably on my list for nearly every year that I've used Hobonichi, because I've had a week since 2018. This is the one that I am pretty confident they're never going to change, but it's just my biggest issue with this planner. I absolutely adore it. I use it every year, like I've said, since 2018, but there is just one element of it that I can't understand why they do it, and it really gets in the way of my enjoyment of it. And that is the fact that the left-hand side of the page is not grid. It's blank and then grid on this side. That, when you are not using any stickers and you're doing pen only, it's kind of annoying, but you can pretty much get away with still seeing the grid and being able to write straight, because this is one thing, I can't write straight. I need a line to use as a reference point. I'd love to be one of those people that can write in a straight line on plain paper. I genuinely think that's part of the reason I'm not a huge scrapbooker, because it's plain pages that you're sticking stuff in generally, and then having to try and write neat it's a real challenge. And yeah, I have this issue here where unless I can see the grid kind of showing through, I really struggle to keep the writing neat. And even when I can see the grid, I still don't keep it neat because it's not as clear as on here. But then when I go and use stickers, for example, so let's look at this week, the stickers then block the grid. So on this week, because I used a few stickers and a bit of washi, when I then tried to write on this week, the bits that had stickers, I then really struggled. So like here, which this is probably not picking up well on camera, I apologise, but if you have used a week, you know what I'm talking about. But where I've used washi tape here, I really struggled to then follow the line. And as a perfectionist, it really bugs me. And I know that if it was grid on the left, as it is on the right, this would almost be a perfect planner, but just this is enough to irritate me to the point where it's not quite right. And I'm sure if they did change it, I'd probably still say that there was something else, or it just wasn't gelling, or, you know, all these reasons you give yourself when you want to change planners. But it is just frustrating. And for someone who can't write neat, and for someone who needs to have neat writing in her planner, like I say, it is a bit of a barrier to my enjoyment. And I absolutely don't think that they're going to change it, because, like I say, if they were going to do it, they would have done it by now. I don't know the rationale for having it blank. I would imagine it's so you've got the flexibility around what you use the pages for and things like that. But please, Hobonichi, give me grid on my left-hand page. Make my writing neat again. I beg you. That's it for the weeks. Only one small request for the weeks, just that one paper. Okay, so next up concerns the cousin. Cousin is another Hobonichi that I absolutely love. I've had one for all bar 1 year since 2018, but there is one thing particularly with how I'm using it at the moment that I would absolutely love, and I know I'm not the only one. I've definitely seen this mentioned a few times online, But for those that don't know, the setup of the cousin is you get your monthlies, your weeklies, and your dailies. In an A6, so the A6 Techo to go alongside the A5 cousin Techo, you get the monthlies and the dailies and nothing else. If you want weekly spreads in an A6, you have to buy a separate weekly. It's a cute little booklet, just fits kind of in the pocket of your cover if you're using the Hobonichi covers. There's more than enough space. I mean, this is an avec, not a full, but it's so small it can fit anywhere. But if you really want a weekly spread, then you've got that. But for the cousin, you only have this. So if you didn't use the weeklies, which at the moment I'm not really using, I think I've used like a handful since the start of the year. But if that's you kind of just have to leave them blank or get the day free. So the day free, which is available in A6 and cousin size, is basically a planner that has all of your monthlies as normal. And then I think it's 150, it might be the same for the cousin, it might be a bit more, but 150-ish blank pages. But then you don't have the dates, you then have to date it yourself, or yeah, do something, sticker, stamp, whatever it is, or just write if you're kind of pen only. But that's the only option you've got. Whereas with the A6, although it's not in one booklet, you do have the option for both. And I would just love to have a non-weekly version of the cousin where it's this book, it just doesn't have the weekly pages in it, because sometimes I'll like to kind of play around with it and maybe do like a sticker layout, but I don't need it. What I'm using this year is basically the monthlies on and off and the dailies. Now, I might try the day free next year if they don't release a weeks free version, but I just would worry that I'm going from 365 pages to circa 150, and I don't want to worry about running out of space throughout the year. And also I like having the daily page. It's something that I did actually in June, where I went through and kind of actually used the daily pages as a bit of a kind of half planner, half journal, and I was really enjoying it. And although I could do it in a day free, because I don't necessarily do it every day, I feel like I'd lose something by not having the pre-printed days and having to kind of do it myself. And also, if I did get in the habit of journaling every day, I'd then run out of space, and I don't know if I want to necessarily go to an A6 for it, because the pages aren't very big. And if you've been subscribed to this channel and watched a few of my videos, you'll know I've tried a few times to make A6 work and just haven't quite managed it. This feels like a very small page, but I'm kind of stuck because Hobonichi won't do basically an A5 version of this. I either have to have this and have the empty pages, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's still a bit of bulk that's not needed, or go down the A5 version of the day free. I guess that's the wishlist item that I'm kind of still slightly optimistic that they will do, just because I have seen a lot of people talk about it, so fingers crossed. Finally, I want to talk about the thing that's been glaring in the ring light in this video, which really bugs me, but I absolutely love having a clear cover on my Hobonichis. As you'll see, I've got one on my old A6 here, the day free, and obviously I have one on my weeks. Now, for those that aren't as kind of au fait with Hobonichi, out of the 3 covers, the only one that actually came from Hobonichi was this one. So they do a range of cover on covers, and some are plain, and then they do have a few designs each year. I have had a couple of designs in the past that look quite nice, particularly with like certain coloured weeks covers. You then have this gorgeous like line drawing kind of cover that looks really pretty and works really nicely with certain colours of planner. That's a standard of the Hobonichi lineup. For the cousin and the A6, they do have cover on covers, but they're actually made to go over the Hobonichi proper covers. So the kind of big ones that you're planner slots into, that has like card slots at the front and things like that, and lots of storage and pen loops and things like that. It's a cover that goes over that. And I do see quite a lot of people who order the cover on cover for either the A6 or Cousin without the cover in the middle, the main one, the expensive one, and then wonder why it doesn't fit. And it's because they don't do these covers. These covers are actually from Midori, and you have to get the right ones, because particularly for the Cousin, it's not a great fit at first, but I mean, I've had this in here for like 6 months now, and it's fine, it's taut, it lays flat, but it does take a little bit of work. Some people use a hairdryer. I've never really had to. I've usually been able just to get it on and then kind of leave it under some heavy books to kind of flatten it down. A lot of people, I don't know whether they've bought the wrong one or they just seem to struggle more and have to use the hairdryer, but if you get the right Midori one, which I will leave a link in the comments to the one that I always buy for this, it does get on fine. It's not a problem. And for the A6, I've never had a standard A6. I've only ever had the Day 3 or the Avec, but I'm fairly certain, again, you can get a Midori one that fits nicely. But it just seems like such a miss that Hobonichi themselves don't do it, because a lot of people do like just having a simple clear cover. As you can see, I like having a clear cover and then having a sticker on it. It's, yeah, just a nice bit of detail for me. I don't want a big cover with lots of storage that takes up loads of room. I just want something really simple that will protect it and give me a little bit of storage. Like there is a kind of, technically I guess, a pocket on the inside where you kind of slot in the planner. But yeah, I don't know why they don't sell one. I feel like it's a bit of a no-brainer and would be a good amount of incremental sales for those people that don't want the full cover, because there's a lot of us. You don't see that many people in, I mean, you obviously see lots of people in the full covers. If people didn't buy them, Hobonichi wouldn't sell them, but there's still a lot of people like me that just like having a simple clear cover. And the thing is as well, you could then do like some of the cool covers that we've had over the years and the weeks. Some people would love on the Hobonichi. Yeah, it just seems like such a good sales opportunity, and I'm sure they're very cheap to make. So yeah, it would be a bit of a, if I was the buyer, it would be a bit of a no-brainer for me. But I'm not a buyer. And that is it for my wish list. Like I say, if they have announced any of these things, then I am clearly psychic. But I doubt at this point, a few days in, they haven't, but fingers crossed. If you have anything on your wish list from Hobonichi, please let me know in the comments. Really keen to hear what everybody else out there wants. A common one that I have seen quite a few times is a B6 version of a Hobonichi, which they have said before that they don't want to release because there's plenty of other planners, Japanese planners specifically, that are in B6 size. But yeah, let me know what's on your wish list, and are you furiously opening your phone every morning to check the preview like I do every year? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe if you did, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!